At first glance, Kirby Air Ride's simplistic and
basic
racing game, when all the pieces are put together, is truly a magical achievement in gaming.
I'm a little shocked. Kirby Air Ride Summer 92?
Kirby Air Ride's simplistic control.
That was my favorite GameCube games growing up. And that was the only Kirby game that I played. Yet again, man, there is a lot of Nintendo games. I wonder how many, though. Because this is the top 100. So of every single Nintendo game that has been invented in existence, this is only like the 100 best. Still amazing that there's so many out there. Because we're not talking about just like Mario. We're talking about like this, like Sonic included. Soul Calibur, Rayman. Oh, yeah, there's a lot that I thought. But of course, it'd be mostly just like Mario, Zelda, Kirby relate. Well, actually, even Pokemon, I'm sure. Hopefully the live stream is working this time. It's stuck at 36 seconds. You just got home. That's good. And you're lucky you're a cat stump. I'm glad to hear that. My mother, she's actually at work right now. And my brother basically is driving on his way back. So I'm going to go to my mother's room shortly. It says 38 seconds for some reason. That's the thing is the reason why I said the stream is working. All right, it's a minute behind. It may take a little bit for it to upload, and I mean flow. Now it says 50 a video just now about Singapore, so you can watch that. You can view that later, of course. And I may post another video. I'm not sure yet. I'm just trying to. Oh, that's where I put my drawings, and maybe something else. Oh yeah, very quick. I actually got a candle. Because since my mother is tight on money, of course, this is all we could actually buy. I think this is a closely comfort, so it's weird because I can still smell it, but it's not really scented. And the funny thing is, it looks like it could be like from the carpet. So I think it's just like aesthetic. I'm gonna light that up a little later on. Not right now though. Like when I get to my mother's room, I'll light it. Well. You know what? I'll light it up right now. I'll be back. One, two, three, four. Wait. Okay. 1, 2. There we go. Huh, someone voted for Odyssey, but I noticed they left. Weird. Well, at least they want to show support. That's all that matters. Anyway, where was I?
Admittedly don't do much to stand out against Nintendo's other local multiplayer titans, but the unique attributes it does bring to the table more than warrant Kirby Air Ride's spot. The core racing is a mix of Kirby's floaty yet precise mechanics from his 2D game.
And this is 4 hours. I kid you not. I've only seen like 14.5 minutes so far.
Director Masahiro Sakurai's visceral momentum from the Super Smash Bros. Series. No matter how you feel about Sakurai, his games just have a certain flair, and a lot of that was introduced in this title. Bold outlines on symbols and items, challenge tables revealing rewards, funny training videos help this
game. That makes sense. That makes total sense now, because it gets out to Smash Brothers aesthetic.
And sounds like a Smash menu. Menus aren't the only thing lifted from Sakurai's most popular series, though, as this game also lifts the physical feeling you get from landing a sick combo in Smash Bros. And places it straight into the game's only button input, boosting. Pressing the A button slows down your start to a halt while allowing you to reposition your direction swiftly in 360 degrees. Then, by releasing the A button, you catapult your cart in a new direction. I can't really explain how fun this mechanic is in words, and trust me, I've tried, but the best way I can is by saying that just like a Super Smash Bros. Combo, it is so damn satisfying to pull off. almost instantly slowing down the cart while immediately starting to build up boost, balances Kirby Air Ride into a far less drift-heavy game like its immediate comp Mario Kart, which will often require you to counter hop, aka drift in the other direction to straighten out your cart. Charging up your boost and repositioning your car to move in a new direction, all while the cart's slowing down, makes boosting almost function as a time slowdown mechanic. At least I feel like time slows down as I'm pinballing around decently narrow maps with plenty of sharp turns. This extremely satisfying boost mechanic is paired with Kirby's floaty driving to make for a uniquely singular experience, as successfully taking a ton of turns super tightly in rapid succession genuinely feels like you're pulling off a combo. Due to the uniquely singular experience of only having to worry about the analog stick and one button, the boost button will also double as an item button or a swallow button, allowing you to either use items or transform into new copies.
What he basically forgot to add, there's also spin button. Well, not spin button. You could actually spin as well, which means you actually can hit the other Kirby's. And also for the city trail, you actually could use other air rides as well and trying out new machines. So I guess he probably forgot about that. Because I understand this is long. Like, and it's good for someone that would basically miss a lot of information. So this game is a classic. It's one of the very first GameCube. Well, it's one of my favorite GameCube games that I played growing up.
This is combined with the ability to attack other players by quickly wiggling the control stick, and these are fun mechanics, if not occasionally hectic and confusing. But don't get it twisted, the fast-paced nature of needing to constantly slingshot around your star as quick as possible to preserve momentum is definitely the star of the show here. This core gameplay is significantly altered by the game's many vehicles.
Yep, okay, there we go.
Control extremely differently. Some completely max out your speed to the detriment of your traction. One removes the boost feature of boosting, turning the A button into a glorified handbrake, and some basically just let you fly. The 9 maps in the main air ride mode are so well made, with branching paths, exhilarating turns, and extremely fun set pieces that I can't help but this would go extra for the game's top ride.
Oh, that's a classic.
But considering the bite-sized nature of that game mode, its stunted replay value means Top Ride fails to be much beyond a standout Mario Party minigame. Kirby Air Ride's crown jewel, however, is undoubtedly City Trial.
Yep, there we go.
Open map featuring a forest, cave, volcano, the aforementioned city, a damn amusement park, and more. You drive around collecting upgrades, jump into one of the many new vehicles scattered around the city, or try to build one of the legendary air rides. While you're trying to upgrade your ride, there are random events that can happen ranging from falling meteors to UFOs and everything in between. This game mode is hectic and wild, as you and 3 other racers compete to create the best ride and also sabotage others. However, the best part is why you're trying to upgrade your ride within this 5-minute limit. At the end, players face off in a challenge to determine the winner, but this challenge changes from game to game. These could be one full lap on one of the game's courses, a drag race, a brawl, or more. While hard to explain, the core gameplay loop of City Trials is an absolute blast that always keeps players on their toes. With hundreds of achievements, unlockable tracks, cars, and characters, a killer soundtrack, the flat-out fun boost mechanic, and the local multiplayer triumph, which is City Trial, Kirby Air Ride is a quality racing game carried to excellence by its addictively brilliant local multiplayer.
Yep, you spin it well.
The Legend of Zelda is a legendary series in gaming, and despite being often forgotten, the Minish Cap does not disappoint.
Minish Cap?
By Capcom, this game's art style is just incredible, and it pushes the GBA to its limit.
I think I heard of it, yes.
Vibrant environments, Hyrule looks as stunning as ever in 2D. The main villain of the story is Vati, who shatters the Picori blade, turns Zelda to stone, and releases a bunch of monsters within just the first bit of playing the game. What a menace. And now it's Link's job to find the Picori and restore the Picori blade to freedom. Along the way, you meet the Minish Cap, which allows Link to shrink down to
I guess I could show my face, though, because I'm going to show the screen, too, so I can show the game that he's demonstrating, but if anyone's interested, just view his channel, and that way you can actually see it yourself if you want. And what's Cozy Comfort? Oh, Dumbo? I don't know. It doesn't really have a scent, I think. It's just, I don't know. It's like this carpet, but it's like aesthetic. Yeah, it's 4 hours. I kid you not. And y'all, your messages are great. You don't worry. Yeah, those are my pups. And I don't know, Dumbo. There's a ton, and for some reason, I do feel a little warm. Maybe that candle's helping the room heat up a little. Oh, there's a lot of Zelda games. Not as much as the Mario ones, of course, but there's a ton. There's a ton. Yeah, I know. I mostly played the Mario ones and some Pokemon ones, but sadly that's about it for me.
It's never before seen gameplay within the series. Solving puzzles, exploring dungeons, and collecting gear utilizing the size-changing mechanic is super fun. But you know what's not fun? Hearing this dude complain every 5 seconds. I mean, for a hat
And they
without
are.
wings, he's a little too hand-holdy for my liking. Similar to the size of the Picori, this game's campaign is short, although completionists will have a field day with this one, as if you're collecting everything possible in the game, as well as completing all side quests, you're looking at hours and hours of extra gameplay. The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap is a hidden gem in Zelda's catalog, often looked over for other grander Zelda adventures. However, with its innovative gameplay mechanics, unique puzzles, and a great story, it solidifies itself as another absolute banger and a franchise chock full of some of gaming's greatest accomplishments.
Number 90.
Sakurai is notorious for making games that completely redefine their respective genres, and arguably no game is a better example of this than Super Smash Bros.
Why is Super Smash Bros. 90 though? That is pretty low. Well, yeah, the game is old. I think it should be like maybe the top 50. Wow, only 90? That's it? That's pretty low on the list. Are you serious? I'm surprised it's that low. Yes, the game is old. But the thing is, though, that's how it all began. I'm surprised. Number 90? That's really shocking to me. Wow. But the thing is, this is their opinion. So this is not accurate. This is the third dust because switched up. They work as a team, to set up this. Sonic Adventure 2 isn't on here, huh? But Sonic Adventure 2. Oh, yeah, that's right. Even though it is on the GameCube, it's more of a Sega title. Okay, that makes sense now. I'm surprised it is 90. That's crazy. From their opinion.
On traditional fighting games.
Really?
Health meter, you go further the more damage you take, and if you fail to stay within the
that's pretty low.
It's a bizarre yet revolutionary concept. And pairing this with
number 90 on the list out of the 100.
Array of maps to play on, it all makes for a fun and exciting experience. Now, I could point to the game's mechanics and say that is what truly makes Super Smash Bros. An amazing game. I mean, the entire platform fighting subgenre wouldn't even exist without it. But let's be honest, the mechanics are not why Super Smash Bros. Is so popular. As the story goes, Sakurai originally began developing Dragon King, the fighting game. It was a cool concept, but it did have one glaring issue: no marketability. The characters consisted of generic polygonal models, which didn't really make the game too appealing.
Interesting.
One of Sakurai's co-workers suggested that he replace the simple characters with Nintendo icons. After a complete repackage, Nintendo surprisingly greenlit the project, leading to the largest crossover in gaming. It cannot be overstated how cool this was at the time. Seeing Mario, Link, Pikachu, and
Samus
Kirby all in the same game was a collaboration like no other. Not to mention, this was a fighting game, and Nintendo really wanted you to know it, creating an entire marketing campaign around their most iconic mascots beating the crap out of each other. Through creating a roster of the biggest faces in gaming, it made for an experience that anyone could enjoy. And even if you didn't know what a Jigglypuff or a Captain Falcon was, you were still having an absolute blast, with some of the most chaotic gameplay that honestly represents the N64's multiplayer to a T. So while Smash 64 is often overshadowed by its successors, there's really no denying that it's one of the most important games in Nintendo's history.
89.
Pokemon-like fashion, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons were released simultaneously.
Oh, damn it! Enough of this damn app. Oh, I do not like how my TV does that. The thing is, when it's so full of storage, it wants to be stored. I hate that. I might stop the list at 80. Like, I want to watch. Ooh, what's that? Shit. I don't know what thumbnail that is. Oh, well, it's fine. Where was I? I need Asian Americans to stop. Oh, that sounds interesting. Anyway, we'll worry. I'll probably stop at 80, to see where this takes off. I know I'm not doing much commentary because, well, I'm just sharing my thoughts. Well, you can hear them in the background because I thought this video was really interesting and they worked so hard on it. And I just love gaming videos like this. I just find them fascinating. Damn, let's see, you're like near the 20-minute mark. I'm surprised I've ever heard some of these Zelda games. I guess because I've been a big fan of them, sadly.
Games in Nintendo's history.
In Pokemon-like fashion, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons were released simultaneously in 2001 for the Game Boy Color, which were developed by Capcom just like the Minish Cap. These games were created to be complementary to each other, whether that be areas looking one way in Seasons while looking another in Ages. Oracle of Seasons has a stronger focus on combat, while Ages was more puzzle-driven, which genuinely makes these games feel somewhat distinct, despite obviously being deeply similar. There are two key items between the two games. Oracle of Ages has the Harp of Ages, which allows you to time travel between the past and present, while Seasons has the Rod of Seasons to change, seasons. One of my favorite examples of this mechanic are the dungeons, which are so damn unique. Navigating your way through them while utilizing something like the switch hook from Ages, where you can swap places with objects, or even the magnetic gloves from Seasons, where you can manipulate magnetic objects, is a flat-out blast. This again made these two games distinct, but also in the same. The two games have their own endings, and no pun intended, when you link the two games together with a password, you unlock new side quests, extra content, and most importantly, a new final boss battle versus Twin Rova and Ganon.
Ganon's blue in that version?
Franchise. Designed to offer distinct gameplay while also remaining connected with their stories, it's an unprecedented great set of games that'll be remembered forever.
88.
Some people, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 isn't.
I never played Xenoblade.
Sprawling journey that put JRPGs back on the map for Nintendo fans. To some, it is a masterpiece. Not us, though, not even close, but it is really good. Released on the Wii back in 2010.
2010 has been on that long?
Limited power like
really?
It's absolute limits. Fast, open lands.
I was in barely in high school when this came out?
Night cycle that makes it feel like you're part of a living, breathing world. What makes this game so great, though, is how it redefined what an RPG can even be. Its unique take on the combat system. The battles require careful planning, timing, and positioning, making you feel like a genius when you finally nail a perfect combo or take down a massive enemy. But the gameplay here is just half the appeal. Its story, characters, and emotional weight are on another level. This isn't just a simple hero's journey. Shulk's story delves into themes of destiny, sacrifice, and way too many characters in the later games. Monolith, what were you thinking?
87. Oh, no, they did not. Mario Kart 64. Why is it so low? Oh, my glove.
Super Mario Kart
That's
may be
it?
the first Mario Kart in the history books, but Mario Kart 64 brought party racing.
Put that to like number 40. Okay, maybe not that high. Number 60. I'm surprised. I used to play Mario Kart 64 in the first two, in my first and second grade class, right before, because I know I talked about this in the live stream before that the school day was over, our teacher, Miss Perry, would hook up the N64 because she would bring it in class, on the glass TV. That's how old it was back then, because this came out in 96, right? And this was like after 9/11, right? The GameCube barely got released at the time. And I think it was 2001. And we would play this all the time. I remember we did. I'm surprised that not many kids maybe had that type of childhood like I did. I don't know though if that's true or anything. But I mean, maybe this makes up for all the bad trauma of my childhood I had. I'm surprised it's so low on the list though.
To the main stage and created some of the most iconic courses in the entire series. Calamari Desert, Yoshi Valley, N64 Rainbow Road.
Yeah, the N64, yeah. The track is pretty long. Not to mention, the music makes me a little sad. I don't like it. It's just so sad.
15 of the 16 tracks in...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can understand because the thing is, it can be repetitive. I mean, that's how it was back then. But for 1996, I mean, come on now.
Iconic courses in the entire...
That's after Super Mario 64 got released. Super Mario 64 was what? One of the very first N64 games that got released, and then Mario Kart. Yeah, no wonder people in the 90s foaming their mouths when they first seen this. I mean, hell, I was one of the foamers myself, and I was a 6-year-old.
Calamari Desert, Yoshi Valley, N64 Rainbow Road. Hell, 15 of the 16 tracks in Mario Kart 64 have returned as retro tracks in future entries. Let me say that again. 15 of the 16 tracks...
Yeah, Mario Stadium! Oh, dear. I love that. What is it? I forgot the name of that game of Steve Harvey. The Family Feud.
15 of the 16 tracks.
So there is Luigi Raceway, Toast. I love Toad's Turnpike. I love the music in the N64 version. DK's Jungle Parkway, great track. Mumafar, great track. Frappe Solan, great track. So they all brought these back. I forgot they did on Marcade Deluxe. Sherbert Land, I know a lot of people do have some hatred of Sherbert Land, but still a great track. Yoshi Valley, really complex, but great track. Koopa Troopa Beach, probably my most favorite track. Choco Mountain, probably my second favorite track. Royal Raceway, it's so-so. Banshee Broad Rock, actually, don't they brought that? I thought they must have remodeled it, though, I think. Because the music, I know people don't like it. It's so good. I can't explain it. Okay. The live stream is working. And Kalimali Desert, it's a good track, but the music makes you a little emotional for some reason. Mario Raceway, really basic, but still a great track. Buster's Castle, amazing track. And then Rainbow Road, my least favorite.
Game were remade because of how fun and iconic they are. I really wouldn't say there's a dud track in this game. Sure, some tracks drag on a little too long, but even Nintendo recognizes this, as they made N64 Rainbow Road a segmented track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's true.
The controls, while not holding up as well as some later Mario Kart entries, are night and day with Super Mario Kart. Drifting got a much-needed update, and now gives a player a mini turbo if you're able to hold it long enough. And not to mention, this game introduced the spiny shell.
That's true.
We can't talk about Mario Kart 64.
Well, technically, it's the blue shell that's called now, though, but back then was the spiny shell.
Battle mode. Sure, battle mode was Super Mario Kart, but Mario Kart 64 is where it arguably peaked. 3 balloons, unlimited timer, no respawn.
Yep.
Unless you count the mini bomb carts, which arguably makes it even better. It's a shame Balloon Battle was nerfed so hard in later entries due to finite timers being needed for online multiplayer. Because the battle to be the last man standing in Mario Kart 64 is what made Balloon Battle what it was. You could even say it was the first battle royale. I'm kidding, but battle mode in Mario Kart 64 was incredible. However, I think what made this game stand out was that it was the first in the series to introduce 4-player multiplayer.
Right.
Something that seems trivial as of now was a groundbreaking feature for the series, truly allowing this game to become a game night staple in the hearts of many. And that's what this game represents to me. It's a pretty basic Mario Kart, all things considered, but what it did was solidify what it meant to be a Mario Kart game. 4 Grand Prix, battle mode, and local multiplayer with friends. Sure, Mario Kart titles would perfect what it means to be a Mario Kart game, but Mario Kart 64 defined it.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
When Super Metroid released all the way back on the Super Nintendo, it was an instant hit. And it wasn't just popular. It completely defined, if not created, an entire genre of video games. Sure, you can say that Metroid did this years ago on the NES. But
1986. Wow.
One is obviously
it's been that long?
Metroid on the NES might have started off the series. Super Metroid is what
goodness.
one of the greatest series in gaming. With that being said,
wait, the NES was out in 1985.
Well, you could, of course, point to a game like Metroid Prime, yet another genre-redefining title, this time in full 3D. However, this game did not put 2D Metroid to rest. In fact, Metroid Fusion, a new 2D adventure, released on the exact same day as Metroid Prime. Having this game for the Game Boy Advance, it was kind of perfect. In a lot of ways, the GBA was functionally a portable Super Nintendo, with games like Super Circuit and ports of Super Mario World and A Link to the Past. So, did this game do justice to Super Metroid, capturing the same amount of charm and creativity that that game had? Well, while I definitely wouldn't say it was even close to as impactful, it still ended up being a pretty good successor. In a lot of ways, it's very much what you would expect from a Metroid game on the Game Boy Advance. And making a game for the GBA specifically was one of the main challenges of the development team. Not only was this game released 2 console generations after Super Metroid, but the Game Boy Advance had a generally younger audience. Because of this, some of the difficulty was stripped away, and instead of the open-ended, figure-it-out-yourself gameplay of Super Metroid, Fusion adopted a more linear style, with the game often telling you exactly what you need to do next. While this definitely takes away from the experience, since you don't feel the same level of satisfaction as you would solving a puzzle on your own, I definitely don't think it ruins the gameplay. Fusion is still a Metroid game, and a successor to Super Metroid at that. You still have cool weapons at your disposal, exciting abilities, epic boss battles, great music, and of course, the same eerie vibe you get when playing any other Metroid game. I also think the visuals are purely amazing. This is some of the best sprite art I've seen on a Game Boy Advance game, and the color choices are just so vibrant and beautiful. While Metroid Fusion can get overlooked and isn't considered to be one of the best Metroid games, it's still a pretty good Metroid
It looks
game.
good though
You're trying to
back
follow
then.
one of the most impactful and important games of all time. Even if you fall just a little bit short, it's practically impossible to end up with a game that isn't great.
85.
New Horizons put Animal Crossing on the map, but Wild World was the only reason there was a map to
Wall up for Trusted in 5. I haven't played it.
Crossing game to break 10 million sales.
Wow, that's a
Really
lot.
got the ball moving. The series was still trying to find its footing, and for the second entry, they decided to move the game to handhelds. A move that would go on to be a brilliant idea.
Wait, what year did this came out?
On the map. But Wild World was the
2005? Are you serious?
First Animal Crossing
Damn it, I could play this in middle school. Crud.
Right? What Wild World seized from this opportunity was the ability to play online. Such a massive part of what makes Animal Crossing so popular today is its social aspect. Wild World introduced the ability to travel to friends' towns and play together. But even if you wanted a solo experience, that was fine too. Wild World, like all Animal Crossing games, is just so relaxing.
It's basically the remake of Animal Crossing for the N64 because I used to play that a ton growing up. I hope to boot at that the N64. Well, in Japan it's the N64, but here in the US we have the GameCube, and that was 4 years prior when this first got released. God, I never liked Tum Nook that much.
What it means to be a cozy game. This game introduced much more customization from the first game, even allowing players to customize their haircuts for the first time.
Really?
But going back to handhelds, there's just something about playing Animal Crossing on a portable console. They've gone back and forth over the years, eventually not even having to make a decision. However, the portable factor of Animal Crossing is one that I think goes understated. Animal Crossing is a game that is played in real time. Time moves in and out of the game.
That's true.
Wild World in your pocket any time of the day to fall into is something that makes the game shine compared to other early Animal Crossing entries. You really had a whole world at your fingertips, and sometimes that's all a game needs to be.
Paper Mario was a
Come on! Only 84? Oh, no, that's a crime. No! Paper Mario's only 84! Make it in the top 20! Are you serious? Really? Yeah. Why did they put Paper... I know that's their list. I'm shocked they rank it so low. Are you kidding me? Okay, 80 Paper Mario total has to be like the... Well, okay, Super Paper Mario could be like maybe the top... 60? Give or take? I'm surprised. A lot of people prefer this one to Super Paper Mario. That's crazy. Why is that only 84?
Nintendo. Taking Mario and drastically changing his art style wasn't a guaranteed hit, but oh man, they struck a gold mine here. Released in 2000 for the N64,
in Japan,
this game combined the beloved turn-based battle system from Super Mario RPG and gave it that now well-known Paper Mario charm.
Why is it so
low? This game was the addition of badges into the battle system, as there's around 60 plus badges in the game for you to collect. Want to gain more flowers than usual after battle? Equip the Flower Finder badge. Want to slowly regain HP in battle? Equip the Happy Heart badge. And this game just aged.
And if you don't want to get poisoned, burned, etc., the feeling, I love that badge because it's like a smile, right? Feeling fine. I love that badge. Why is it so low? I mean, the dialogue, how, yeah, you of course gotta say Princess Peach and whatnot, but the way that you get to collab. Basically having different partners, right? And using different tactics of basically different moves and traveling in other regions, right? I don't know why this is so low. The music is so good. Not to mention the Junior Trooper music is such a classic. Not to mention the dungeon music in Chapter 1. And also we had to defeat the Koopa Troopas, which is like the TMNT brothers of this game, have such good music. I'm surprised they only rank it at 84, my club.
Paper-like art style visually is so appealing in every way imaginable, and it's clear as day to why Nintendo keeps coming back to it. Compared to Super Mario RPG only introducing a few new allied characters, in Paper Mario Mario, each chapter you dive into, you eventually gain a new partner.
Yep.
Using your partner's abilities outside of battle to solve puzzles was a unique way to progress through certain areas in a game and sometimes find an item along the way. It developed a whole new layer to Mario RPG storylines. As each chapter you go through, you learn that partner's story through that charm and witty humor we've come to love from the Mario RPG game. Paper Mario wasn't guaranteed to be successful, but it turned out to be one of Nintendo's greatest decisions for Mario, as the series has gone on to have a mostly successful run.
Yeah, Sticker Star stinks. I never played it, but I don't like the gameplay because it just looks trash. If you had to, use some weird... It's not partner tactics, right? And don't get me started with the other Paper Mario game that you have to use, cards. And not to mention, it doesn't have, the little stage aesthetic. Because this game and the Hotobuda that does the door is at least the top 50. That would be a crime at that part. Because it's basically... The thing is, what the lore about Mario is that in some Mario games, right? It's like a play. A lot of people don't know that. Not every Mario game, because that'll just be silly. Mario's in a dream. I don't see that. Some games, just like how we have dreams, right? I had a couple of weird dreams that I'll probably show later, but basically that's why they're on stage, right? It's a play, and you get to role play as a hero, and then you have to defeat against the bosses, which are the villains, in order to save the princess. It's like Romeo and Juliet, but the gaming version, so to speak.
There's a reason that fans still clamor for the new games to revert to the gameplay style of the first two Paper Mario entries. They just nailed so much off the bat here, which is why this game has undoubtedly stood the test of time.
In 2016, because of the poor sales of the Wii U, Nintendo decided to completely change their marketing strategy. Instead of trying to make good games, they decided to make bad games instead. And frankly, this was ingenious. You see, everyone always attributes the success of the Switch to Nintendo's recent rise. But no, it was actually Star Fox Guard and Metroid Prime Federation Force that saved the company, each selling 10 billion copies. I mean, what's the point of taking 10 years to create a masterpiece like Breath of the Wild when you can make Yoshi's Woolly Road in 2 weeks and make the same amount of money? Nintendo was killing it with the bad games. Paper Mario Color Splash was so bad that Nintendo stopped putting colors in any of their games. Mario Party Star Rush, that game wasn't even real. They even put bad games on the phone. Fire Emblem Heroes is a game where you gamble on PNGs, and it made $1 billion. Wait, what?
Are you serious?
Until some stupid development team clearly didn't get the message and released Kirby Planet Robobot. This game completely ruined Nintendo's 2016 strategy because Nintendo accidentally published one of the best Kirby games of all time. Planet Robobot was finally the conclusion to 3 amazing.
I think I heard of it.
And you can tell that even with a new format, a lot has been improved on in just a handful of years. The Robobot armor specifically is an extremely fun and unique mechanic, which contrasts the super abilities or super.
So that's where Kirby's Photo Smash originates from.
Glorified cutscenes disguised as gameplay. I love being able to merge this armor with a ton of unique abilities to create the ultimate mech. And honestly, the abilities themselves are pretty great too. Of course, you've got some new power-ups like Doctor, Poison, and ESP. But you've also
that's cute! Kirby's like Ness! I like that!
At the end of the day, this is a Kirby game. So you can also expect things like various worlds, collectibles, great music, and epic boss battles. Between Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, and Planet Robobot, I consider these games to be sort of the modern trifecta of the Kirby series, with each game building on top of the previous one. I think it's completely fair to say that Planet Robobot is the best Kirby game in this era of Kirby's legacy, especially if you just want a single-player experience. But at the very least, this game was certainly a great send-off to some of the best Kirby titles we've ever gotten.
82?
Chronicles 3 takes the franchise's best elements.
That came out 2 years ago? Well, trust at 22.
Girls, it pushes them to a whole new level. If you thought the first game was impressive for the Wii, you haven't seen anything yet, because this is somehow running on a chipset from 2015. Truly mind-boggling. Combat in Xenoblade 3 is also a huge step up. Unlike past games, you're now managing 6 different allies, each with their own unique abilities. It can be a bit daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, it just feels right. And if you thought that wasn't complicated enough, there's now the introduction of the Ouroboros forms and interlinking. It lets you combine with other characters to deal insane damage while taking none in return. It can be a bit...
See, this is what I'm going to do, right? For games I've never seen before, I'm not revealing the screen, but the games that I played or have heard of, I basically will show the screen. Reveal.
Look up 100 different guides before playing like I did, but regardless, it is a super fun gameplay addition. Overall, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 isn't just a great RPG, it's a truly grand adventure that pulls you in from the start and keeps raising the stakes. Whether you're new to the series or a longtime fan, this one is a must-play if you can get over that anime weirdness.
Who wants to know how babies are made?
Wait, what?
Before the new Super Mario Bros. Series became
Longtime fan, this one is a must-play.
Pardon?
Who wants to know how babies are made?
Wait, what?
Before the new Super Mario Bros. Series became
Oh,
overexposed
dear.
through repeated new entries that didn't change up the formula enough, New Super Mario Bros.
Wait, what?
was
81?
formula that we needed and was able to revive.
Oh, come on! Why is it only 81?
Platformer genre as a whole.
I played this all the time in middle school in my special ed class from the 6th to the 8th grade. Why is Super Mario Bros. For the DS only 81? Yes, the game is old, but the thing is, though, this is like the only type of 2D Mario platform game that I played growing up. I mostly played the Mario Party games and the Mario Sports games, and of course the Paper Mario games, the Dodger Door, Super Paper Mario. But that's about it. And the Smash Brothers games. I only play the most popular Mario games, sadly. So why is this only 81?
Power-ups like the Mega Mushroom, Mini Mushroom, and Blue
They gotta return that item back.
And all maintained that because
And Mini Mario, they gotta return that. You know what? I need to say something. If they make another 2D Mario platform game, bring back the blue shell. Like Mario's a turtle, but it's a blue shell, right? Bring back the Mini Mushroom if they haven't done so already. And bring back the giant mushroom, which I've been hearing rumors that people want to bring back in Mario Kart 8, right? So, I used to play this game so much in class. Because our teacher basically had a DS. I think we had 2 DSs or 1. Pardon me. I don't remember, though.
This first entry has by far the most varied level design in the series. Levels like an underground sewer maze completely change up the gameplay in ways we never really saw later on in the series. This game also introduced many 3D Mario moves that are now staples in 2D, such as the ground pound, triple jump, and wall jump. In terms of presentation, this game's music and visual style
Triple jump
defined how Mario would look for the next decade plus. And being able to unlock different backgrounds for the bottom screen of the DS.
Wait, I didn't know that was a feature?
An awesome addition.
What? I didn't know you could. Oh my god! I didn't know that was a feature. What?
Mountains of replayability.
All this time I've been playing this game in class. I didn't know you could unlock that. Are you kidding me? See, the thing is, okay, when I was 11 and 12, right? I mean, you can see how young I am. We were even allowed to be barefoot in our classroom as well, just to be a little comfortable when we actually have movie night, because basically, like for the kids, right? Or it wasn't many of us. Like, let's just say it was what, like between 8 to like 10 students. Basically, for the ones that are a little bored, if they don't want to watch a movie that is being played, they can play on a DS, right? You can see how great our attention spans were back then, not just being on TikTok or TikTok the whole time. Like literally, like I was one of, like, let's just say there's a movie I didn't like, that our teacher was playing, during movie day, right? We would be taking turns playing on the DS. So it's ow, my knee, ow. And we'd be playing it after, like, if we die in like the level, we'd just take turns back and forth, right? And we technically don't fight over it. If so, very rarely. I'm not sure how it is for Generation Alpha, but back then we did that. And we shared only 1 DS, I think, if I remembered.
For the bottom screen of the DS,
I didn't do that.
Coins is such an awesome addition that adds mountains of replayability to this title. Not to mention they brought back the electric minigames from Super Mario 64 DS. Some with that multiplayer.
Yep, the gambling game, of course.
Absolute blast with a killer soundtrack.
Luigi cheats.
New Super Mario Bros. DS can often be overlooked, as the series it spawned grew tiresome after repetitive future entries left fans wanting more. But in reality, this is an incredible return for 2D Mario that did pretty much everything right. Equal parts an homage to Mario's past and accessible, New Super Mario Bros. For the DS nailed so much off the bat that Nintendo decided to pretty much copy their own work for the next decade plus. I truly believe this to be one of Mario's finest 2-dimensional outings.
Yoshi's Woolly World is a game.
You know what? Okay, I've heard of it. So I guess I could show the screen here. I never played. Oh my Buddha, 10 years ago for the Wii U, huh? Yeah, I'll stop at 77 then.
Themes with creativity. From the gorgeous art style that really mastered the crafted aesthetic right out of the gate, unique transformations that turn you into a motorcycle, umbrella, and even a Mega Yoshi explosion.
Oh, that's cute.
Worthy in my
There's like 3 hours and 40 minutes left.
Soundtrack out there. Dear goodness, this game is a gem. The tight, snappy controls
3
return
o'clock.
from the original. And with such creative and tightly knit levels and platforming, this was one of those games that when it came up, we all unanimously agreed that it needed to be on the list.
Okay, I fundamentally disagree on dumbass games like this in Woolly World.
It really is that good. Always introducing you to a new enemy, creative transformation, or silly gag that just makes you go, "Yep, this just feels."
Wait,
right."
where is he?
World,
Oh, there he
Nintendo
is.
Games that just feels nice to sit back, get cozy, and play. The entire world could be falling apart around you, but dang it, man, Yoshi's made of yarn this time around. Oh yeah.
As I mentioned before, while Metroid on the NES kicked
79?
off the series, Super Metroid is really what made that series what it is today. Now, to Metroid's credit,
For the
it was
NES,
built
huh?
due to the limitations of the NES, and it's still a pretty good game nonetheless. However, many of these flaws were completely absent in Metroid Zero Mission,
okay.
a complete remake of that game for the Game Boy Advance. Obviously, there are graphical improvements with an art style that is equally as gorgeous as Fusion's, but the actual gameplay is far better too. While Fusion is often criticized for its
I don't think I've
linear
heard of
gameplay,
it.
Metroid was arguably not linear enough. It's not hard to get lost in this game, especially without the presence of a world map. Zero Mission, on the other hand, makes the game more accessible. This time you have a world map, and there's also a few additional hints in the actual level design, just in case you get lost. Like Super Metroid, you still have gameplay that doesn't tell you exactly where you need to go, but you'll also likely not be spending hours aimlessly walking around with no clue what you should do next. And obviously, there's some additional content as well. There are a few mechanics borrowed from some of the newer Metroid titles, in addition to some new items, locations, and sub-bosses, many of which were also taken from other Metroid games. The main new gimmick, though, is the addition of the Zero Suit, allowing you to play as Samus without her iconic power suit for the first time. This outfit has become iconic over the years, especially with Zero Suit Samus being playable in Smash as well. However, it's also a massive downgrade. Samus becomes more susceptible to attacks, and she also sets her laser from kill to stun. Obviously, this was intentional, and what it offers is a completely new form of gameplay, while also managing to capture that intense feeling of isolation and vulnerability that Metroid is known for. As far as remakes go, Metroid Zero Mission is the cream of the crop, taking some of the best elements of the original Metroid and combining them with the best elements of Super Metroid. It feels very much like a modern game, and it also rewards you for continuing to replay it with all kinds of unlockables, including a direct port of the NES version, and even hidden endings. For a game that was based off of an outdated ancestor, Zero Mission is simply amazing, and because of how much it offers to the classic title, if you're looking to get into the Metroid series,
surprised you don't want us here right now. 78.
Imagine if a game came out unpolished, unbalanced.
Mario Party? Oh, I got a long ad. You know what? I agree your message is very quick. Yeah, the Yoshi plush. And your comments are going to them, but you don't have to worry. Oh, I think Cupcake left. I'm sure Cupcake lives really far from me. Yeah, double. I don't mind. Especially it's still the only one that's here right now because it's been almost an hour. Oh, Cupcake wants to meet me. I wish he could because I can't share the address. Mario Party though. I know he has a lot going on. I won't have any family or anyone to live with. See, if I was living on my own, I wouldn't mind having a place for him to stay. But even though, well, yet again, I don't know who he is, so I can't just say that. You didn't know anything about Paper Mario Time? I should have done, but that's interesting. It's a really great game, though. A few hours, so 1-8 was me. Yeah, 3 hours for you, right? You will be officially. Are you serious, Dumbo? So it's been the 31st of January that you've been viewing me on YouTube on my live stream. I want that time. I didn't do that. I'm surprised you've been keeping track. That's incredible, really. Well, happy 1 year anniversary for us, then, isn't it? I don't know why. Oh yes, it's the reason why it's called 64 Dumbos because it's 64 bits. That's why. And you never knew anything about the Zelda games, yeah. And the Mario game, all like Mario itself is from Japan because of the creator Shigeru Miyamoto. He was the one that invented Mario and also the Legend of Zelda as well. Oh, you still here? It's just one view. But Cupcake, if honestly, I probably want to be a good idea. Plus, the thing is, to be really risky for you to go here. You know, with traveling, especially don't drive and don't have a car and all. I just hope that you're still stable somehow. Let me get to the list. Sorry about that. I thought I could catch up on the comments. I'll probably stop at 70. You know what? I'll stop at 70.
The good foundation. That game would be called Mario Party. The thing is, not even a year after its release, Mario Party 2 would come
That
out.
fast, 78.
This would have been a DLC update. But due to circumstances of the time, Nintendo took Mario Party 1 to the corner of the ring, gassed them up, and sent them out for round 2. This is the story of Mario Party 2. Everything that Mario Party 2 does right is what Mario Party 1 did wrong.
Right.
A/B tested the first game, kept all the good stuff, and filtered out all the bad. Firstly, the boards in this game are so much better than the first game. The split paths lead to much more varied experiences compared to Mario Party 1. The themes are great, and I love how all the characters have costumes that correlate to each other.
I agree.
This game is much less sadistic, which, depending on what type of human you are, that could be a good or bad thing. But game design-wise, it's probably a good thing.
It's still unfair. That's true. Oh, yeah. Yep. Accurate. Yep. So the reason why people have been saying that Mario Party rules friendships, it kind of does. If you're not that close with your friends, especially that they rage, which is totally normal, is that Mario Party is like a gambling game, but it's family friendly. And the reason why I say that because since I played a ton of Mario Party myself, I would even cheat because I don't like losing, right? And this is when I was much younger. I had a phobia of losing for some odd reason. I think there is a name for it. People that do not like losing. I do have that phobia. Well, or at least I used to. Uh-oh. Is my candle burning out? No, I just lighten you up. Yeah. Oh, I just touched the flame. It's kind of nice. Sorry about that. I literally touched the flame. I didn't really burn myself much. I should consider myself as a fire type. But the thing is, what he showed in that clip was that's a CPU. Mario was, okay, it's the beginning of the game, right? Turn 1. Randomly draw the board, there will be hidden blocks. So it's really rare, extremely rare actually, to get a star. Because you're more likely to get coins, even though coin blocks are not, or hidden blocks are not common. And since they just started the map in the first turn, because this is a single player, well, one person playing in this, the CPU got a star, which means they're already automatically got in first place. And that's pretty unfair. Because, pardon me, Mario Party is really luck-based. And I can see why. That is so unfair. He's Mario. Accurate.
Next, they took out all the bad stick mini games. Not just because
the control stick,
but also because they weren't too fun.
Yep.
This also might be the
and not to mention they caused so much injuries and problems that Nintendo got sued. So it makes total sense. I'm glad. Oh.
Mini games in the series besides Superstars, which basically just steals all the N64 games. Personal favorites of mine
Hexagon
are
Heat.
Hexagon
Love
Heat,
that minigame.
Look Away, and Bowser's Big Blast.
Yeah, that's a
that one
classic.
requires no skill at all, but this is Mario Party. I don't play for riveting gameplay. I play it for the mayhem with friends.
Yep.
And that's what this game does well. Sure, Mario Party 1 may have been more chaotic, but Mario Party 2's chaos feels more fair. You're more in control in Mario Party 2 with the decisions you make.
Pretty
Whether
much.
you're buying items or taking a branching path, you feel like your decisions actually matter in this game. Do they? Who really knows? But that's Mario Party for you. Skill does not always have to equal success.
That's true.
None
77.
of us are huge Fire
Fire Emblem
fans,
Awakening
but what we
2012.
in the series. And not
I've
just
heard
for
of
the great
it.
Score, strikingly good visuals for the 3DS, an intriguing narrative, but the core of Awakening's success has to be in its combat. Like all the previous Fire Emblem games, battles are fought on grid-based maps, where positioning and unit
This
management
is awesome.
What really levels this battle system up compared to the other games is the introduction of the pair-up system, allowing two units to join forces, enhancing their stats, and unlocking new strategic layers.
I'm shocked I was in high school when this came out. I could have played it in class. Oh, wow.
So not only adds depth to the combat, but also strengthens the game's focus on character relationships, which some would say is the entire hallmark of this series. Also, that music.
It's not that bad.
Pokemon is often at its best when it comes to remaking past regions, and Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is one of the best examples of that. Released in 2014 for the 3DS.
That long ago?
Generation of
Wow.
Pokemon, revisiting Hoenn is an amazing visual experience, especially compared to the originals back on the GBA. It was given a fresh coat of paint, improved upon many quality of life features, fixed up
Come to think of it, I
and
haven't
completely
seen
redesigned some
any
locations
gameplay.
as Smallville City. Diving into the game, we all know the iconic starter trio of Torchic, Mudkip, and Trico, but now their fully evolved forms all have Mega Evolutions, along with more Hoenn Pokemon in the game, which is a great touch, as Megas were
Are you
instantly loved by the fan
serious?
base when they debuted in X and Y. The Pokénav also got a huge overhaul inspired by some X and Y features as well, such as Pokémon, Wonder Trading, and Super Trading. The DexNav also got a significant upgrade, as now you can sneak up on Pokemon and possibly see what ability or egg moves it has before encountering.
Wow.
Speaking on the Mega Evolutions, relatively early on in the story, you're gifted a free Mega Latios or Latios, which is super nice, and it helps introduce this new mechanic into these old stories. Near the end of the game, you're given the Eon Flute, which allows you to fly with one of the Latios and soar over Hoenn, which is so damn fun. When you reach the post-game, you can also encounter other legendary Pokemon from past generations by soaring. Honestly, this is one of the coolest mechanics ever introduced for a Pokemon game, and it's made even better by the beautiful music that accompanies your flight. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have the Battle Resort. It might have been disappointing to fans, as most were expecting the Battle Frontier, despite it being in Pokemon Emerald only. However, these games make up for this with other aspects, one of which is the Delta episode, which is a post-game event that heavily focuses on Rayquaza and Deoxys. You take a trip to the top of Sky Pillar to catch Rayquaza, and then later Mega Evolve it and ride on it to space to battle Deoxys, which for the 3DS era has amazing visuals. Epic set pieces combined with some exciting lore and new characters really makes this a great addition to the story,
crazy.
while also acknowledging the definitive version of the generation being Pokemon Emerald. Unlike another game I know, Hoenn is one of the best regions in all of Pokemon, and
Wait, what game is he talking? Oh, sorry, that sound effect makes you laugh.
The definitive version of the generation being Pokemon Emerald. Unlike another game I know.
Are they that bad? Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they're that bad? Seriously? Really?
Hoenn is one of the best regions in all of Pokemon, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire do this magical land justice by having some of the most riveting gameplay and content in the entire franchise. This is how a remake should be done. It's faithful to the original, yet full of surprises, and hands down one of the best Pokemon experiences you'll ever have.
I think it was 19.
Our first
75.
3D Mario entry on this list should be no surprise to you. Super Mario 3D Land is often just regarded
I was
as one of the
16?
3DS.
Really?
Yeah, that would be correct. But this is a 3D Mario we're talking about. The worst 3D Mario game is still leaps and bounds better than almost any other 3D platform.
I didn't know this is the worst. Really? Man, the monsters is something else. Okay.
Like the rest of them, this one is actually in 3D. But for
I'll
real,
stop at
let's
somebody.
talk about 3D Land. For one, it's the first portable 3D Mario game. Remember, this game doesn't.
Oh, come on! Super Mario 64 DS wasn't that bad. I played it in class. It's not bad. Come on. Really? Why do people keep bullying on this game? There's nothing wrong with it. You get to play as Wario, right? I forgot what ability he has. You get to play as Yoshi. You get to swallow enemies to spit them out. And then for Luigi, well, he basically has a higher jump, right? Why is this game? Why do people keep bullying the DS? I don't get it. I remember I played it in class. Come on, it's a good game. People need to stop bullying on it. Plus, the thing is playing. You're basically playing Super Mario 64. I mean, yeah, Super Mario 64, but it's handheld. Back then, us kids and us millennials at the time, and I'm sure Generation Z that could relate, but mostly millennials, right, will go insane for games like that.
An outstanding achievement in its own right. The gameplay, however, doesn't quite resemble the 3D Marios of the past. This is where we were introduced to what us fans call 2.5D Mario.
I like 2.5D.
Well, yes, we are in a 3D space. The objective of each level is linear. The levels in Mario 64,
It's
Sunshine,
3D.
and even Galaxy to some extent were designed with the exploration and discovery in mind. If you try and explore much past the railing in 3D Land, you'll be sent right to the respawn screen faster than you can say Mamma Mia. However, that's not what this game was designed for. Many fans discredit this game because it doesn't live up to the hype of all the other 3D Mario games that came before it. But to that I say, why try and compare them? Comparing 3D Land to Sunshine is like comparing lemons to limes.
I
Sure,
agree.
they're closely related and kind of look similar.
They're much
but
different.
They accomplish two completely different tasks. 3D Land focuses on the quick level design and platforming, perfect for short spurts of gameplay on the go, while the sandbox Mario games focus on exploration and platforming. Very similar games with different executions. 3D Land's levels, like I said, short, but almost all of them are expertly crafted. Most of them have a unique gimmick that comes and goes quickly to never make you feel burned out or feel like playing is a hassle. The linear format, in my opinion, is just the modern evolution of 2D Mario. During this time, Nintendo's 2D Mario series was becoming stagnant and repetitive. However, if you squint your eyes hard enough, you would see that it had just evolved into 3D Land and 3D World. The linear nature of 3D Land blends the best parts of the 3D and 2D Mario games. Flagpoles, collectibles, power-ups, it all works together to what, in my mind, encapsulate what a Mario game is. If I asked an AI to create a Mario game, this is probably what it would look like. And I'm not saying that to disparage 3D Land. What I am saying is that this is as Mario as it gets.
Of course.
3D Land is the epitome of Mario. But even so, 3D Land still isn't the best 3D Mario game in the crayon box. At times, you could say it's too easy and also a little lazy in its overall design. However, there are some fun things here, and it shouldn't just be overlooked because of all the other juggernauts in the series. It's a damn good game that deserves some respect on its name.
When the Pikmin series was first imagined, series creator Shigeru Miyamoto was certain it would become the next Mario. He was unfortunately incorrect, as its debut game on the GameCube had lacking sales, to say the least.
Only 1.6 million? Oh, that's not good. What I wanted to say something for this game. It's my 7-year-old self had so much difficulty. It felt a little weird. And I don't think I even played past the first level, and I later had my mother take it back to Blockbuster for me. I feel so bad, though. Pikmin, it is a great game. It is. Maybe for us Americans, we don't like it that much, because I know Japan they do. But honestly, it does take a little bit to get used to.
But that didn't stop it from instantly becoming one of the most unique and creative franchises to ever come out of Nintendo, essentially creating an entire genre of game
74.
with the release of Pikmin 1. And although you don't see many Pikmin-like games being made nowadays for some crazy reason, it's probably because they already nailed the formula its first try. Right out of the gate, the gameplay loop is immediately addicting. Seeing all of your Pikmin carry objects back to the onion is super satisfying. And once you get deep into the game, it can actually get pretty tricky. Managing what type of Pikmin to bring, where to focus your attention, and make sure you get back before the sun sets. Pikmin 1 and 2 are the only games in the series I would say get genuinely challenging at times, because this game lets you make drastic mistakes that carry some deep consequences. Whoops, you forgot you brought along non-blue Pikmin in water? They physically drown. Don't fix your shit before the time runs out.
Really?
Olimar suffocates and dies.
Oh my
Listen, I'm
goodness.
not commercial to say, all the Pikmin games are of superb quality, but something about the first one, with its isolation and somber vibe, gives it a distinct identity. It's the only game in the franchise to only have one character, with that being Olimar, and his mission makes it even more distinct. There's always been a survival element to these games, but especially in Pikmin 1, the main objective here isn't to save a princess or defeat an evil monster, but to literally just stay alive on this planet and fix up your ship before you run out of oxygen. Yeah, there's not many yahoos in this game. And this feeling of isolation is enhanced with the beautiful end-of-level sequences, where Olimar will fly up into space above the planet, journaling his experiences for the day. Not just going over how the events of the day played out, but will mention his wife, his daughter, and how he misses them.
Wait, what? He has a wife? I didn't know that. A dog and a... Oh, boy.
A game like this, but it makes it all the better. So with such an immediate clear goal and super fun Pikmin management gameplay, this game keeps you locked in and is very easily one of Nintendo's best.
Oh, a Wii game. Which one is it? Oh. Mario 48, huh? Wow. 73. That's pretty impressive. You know what? I can read the comments very quick. Dumbbell, the Lucky Mimi, that's from I forgot what Spider-Man movie it is, but it is from Spider-Man. And you used to play them all the time on your Nintendo DS, Cupcake. I didn't know that. And only on Zelda on Smash. Really? I didn't know that. And Cupcake, I just want to say, well, since you are saving up money, right? You should stay at a Motel 6. I hope you have one nearby because they're the cheapest. You know, like, I mean, at least there's someone that's really cheap so that you would have shelter. Because you only need to stay in a fancy hotel that's room service because you're going to be homeless really quick. Because that's what my mother, my brother, and I did after we got evicted. Because we had to stay in 4 different hotels in 4 weeks. Oh, Darren's here. And do Nintendo have any games in VR? Dumbbell, they don't. Unless you can count the virtual reality board, which I do not recommend. But that's old, so they don't. Not to my knowledge. Mario's wearing a white hat. Oh, actually, I wasn't paying attention to the white hat. I don't know why. But yeah, Cupcake, I hope those are good suggestions for you. Okay, let me continue. I can see this being 73.
Mario Party 8 is the absolute pinnacle of everything Mario Party stands for. As Hudson Soft's final Mario Party title, they made damn sure they'd go out on top. First of all, let's talk about the vibe. The Star Carnival is the absolute perfect backdrop for a Mario Party, as it feels like a grandiose celebration while still obviously being focused on fun.
Ballyhoo.
The giant stage in the center announcing the winner of each game, individual game modes represented by Big Top tents, and original character MC Ballyhoo and his hat Big Top hosting every
Big
game.
Top.
It's just perfect. Does any of this on its own even matter? No, not really, but when comparing this to this, which just looks like a fan game in comparison, and realizing that Mario Party 8 came out over a decade before Super, it just all comes together and screams that, hey, these guys actually cared about making a fun Mario Party. Moving on to the main game, the character roster is what you'd expect.
Yeah.
With a pair of unlockable enemies,
Blooper and Hammer Bro.
Rule the board. 6 brilliantly designed boards that all play entirely differently from each other. DK's Treetop Temple is your standard Mario Party affair with tons of branching paths, hidden secrets, and a purchasable star for 20 coins, which moves its location. Shy Guy's Perplex Express is a train packed with chaotic passengers where you race to the conductor for a star. And while the star never moves, certain event spaces will switch around the train cars themselves. Meanwhile, Bowser's Warped Orbit has no stars on the board, with partygoers instead.
My least favorite board It kind of gets a little repetitive after a while.
Powered Up Candy, which is this game's version of an item system, and it's way more balanced and just straight up more creative from a visual and gameplay perspective. Going back to the boards, though, lastly, I have to mention Koopa's Tycoon Town,
The best
which might
board.
be my favorite board in Mario Party history. In this city, Koopas own different properties.
Well, I do like the Goma's boardwalk.
To receive stars. However, you'll want to make sure you've invested more than your opponents in certain properties, as anyone else who puts even one coin more than you can steal all the stars this property provides. The gameplay ramifications of this are hilarious, and the funny bluffing or revenge moments that this board creates are single-handedly more fun than any Mario Party game we've gotten since. I seriously could go on forever, but I'll end this sec by talking about the minigames. I believe this is one of the most complete selections of Mario Party minigames there is, and the games with motion control enhance the experience. I know this is controversial, but straight up they do, as they lower the skill gap, which is exactly what a game like Mario Party needs to keep every game close, chaotic, and unpredictable. Tons of unlockables in the bazaar, a story mode with a final boss fight against Bowser, tons of
Not bad.
modes, the most varied collection of boards in the series. Everything about Mario Party 8 is solely designed for one purpose: to allow you and three friends, regardless of the skill gap between you, to have some of the most frantic and frenzied party game fun that not just Nintendo, but any video game company has ever managed to put out.
When Nintendo introduced the concept of these things were everywhere.
Wii
Not only did
Sports.
they have their own series
Oh,
that
wait.
catered to them, but they would also constantly have cameos in other games, from Mario Kart to Wheel of Fortune. And the reason they were in so many games was likely because they could pretty much be slotted in anywhere. After all, these were essentially nothing more than generic avatars, and we never really got to see much of their personality. That is, until Nintendo released
What the
Tomodachi
hell?
Life for the Nintendo.
What?
This is a social
Tomodachi?
game akin to something like The Sims, except with Miis. And while this may seem completely absurd, it kind of works. Each Mii has its own personality traits and interests, and you pretty much do exactly what you would expect. You go around to a bunch of different locations, make friends, and can even get married and raise a family. Okay, maybe this game's very weird, but that's just what makes it so special. It's your game and your experience, and you can do whatever you want, from performing your own musical to worshiping the virtual boy. This game is a complete acid trip, and Nintendo wanted everyone to know it. Just look at the Tomodachi Life Direct that was published before this game's release, featuring Mii's of Miyamoto and Aonuma as they fall in love with Princess Peach and Zelda.
That's cute.
Just this direct alone had so much personality, and honestly, it's kind of a shame that Tomodachi Life didn't become an ongoing series. That being said, it's one of those games with a cult following. At this point, you can expect the name Tomodachi Life to be uttered just about every time there's a Nintendo Direct, and it's really no wonder why.
I love you too.
Wait, there's dialogue?
I love you more.
Well, computer dialogue. That's interesting.
Oh my god!
So here's the deal. This list, like we said at the beginning, is quite biased. However, when making it, all of us on Switch Shop sat down and brought our top 30 games to the table. From there, we debated and discussed what we thought the most fair and generally agreed upon list of 100 games was. It was civil, it was orderly, and most of all, fair. I'm just messing with you. It was utter chaos. What's up to any and all members? See, I got Mike Tyson Punch Out at 60.
It's not saying there, I promise. It's not saying that, I promise. It is not the eyes that are blind, but the heart.
It has way better music. It looks better. And go watch a movie.
The Luigi Mansion is not that fun. No. Been straining like maniacs for half an hour. And we're back at the same spot of shit Punch Out!
Dude, why was that guy face so loud?
This guy hates Punch Out.
You gotta be more chill about it.
Okay, I fundamentally disagree. We're not doing that. Are you guys kidding again?
I've played all these dumbass games like Yoshi's Woolly World.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. So that's what I remember.
I would have rathered averaging our scores together and making the list a bit more scientific, but what do I know? At least I don't think Yoshi's Woolly World is a top 100 game like some people. However, one game time after time was brought up. That game was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is debatably my favorite game of all time. No other game gets me in the zone, feeling accomplished, and leaving me seething like this game does. But how can I justify this being not only a top 100 Nintendo game, but number 71 on this list?
Not bad.
Well, let me break it down.
I mean, back then, I do have to agree. I don't know how old it is. And yeah, it's like a reference to like Rocky. My mother loves Rocky, so, and that's supposed to be Mario. It is a good soundtrack, I have to admit, though. Especially, I don't know what instrument that is. 1987.
It's a sports game and a celebrity cameo game. That right there is a bad combination. It's also arguably an arcade port, and a less visually appealing one at that. But putting Nintendo in a corner only makes their creative juices stronger. Because the game had to run on the less powerful NES, Nintendo decided that they would just make all the fighters giant, and the protagonist, Mac.
I do like how the audience is moving.
Game in the series where Mac is not transparent.
Cheering.
And I'm not sure why they ever went back. Little Mac being towered over by other characters like King Hippo and Super Macho Man makes each and every fight in the ring feel like life or death. Getting beat doesn't just feel like a loss, but an utter beatdown. Missing a dodge is genuinely terrifying, and trying to time your counterpunch on the bull rush is nerve-wracking. Speaking of the bull rush, I've got to give props to anyone who's ever beaten this game without the internet. Learning the different tells and strategies through trial and error is an accomplishment I could only dream of doing, but I didn't. Like many others, I've watched plenty of YouTube tutorials and read many Punch-Out blogs in my day. And when I say this game is deep, I mean it's deep. Waiting for the guy in sunglasses to nod his head, or even the 42-second Glass Joe knockout, are incredible Easter eggs that make this game feel endless. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. You can read how to beat a fighter. You can even know how to beat a fighter. But that doesn't mean you will beat the fighter. Boxing is three things: strength, stamina, and mental. The game simulates.
I like the soundtrack.
Dealt through punches. Stamina is simulated through HP and stamina hearts. But mental is all you. Have you fought this competitor yet? Do you know their tells? Did you come into the fight with a strategy? What do you do when that strategy is upended? All of this is at the root of Punch-Out. You start at the bottom of the worst circuit, fighting the worst boxer. After every single fight, you get stronger. You gain more knowledge, you gain more experience, and you move further and further up the ladder. You're fighting people from all around the world, taking on people twice your size for the chance at the belt. You cross paths with fighters from your past.
I want to share this very quick. The reason why I find this inspiring is because the boy that I crush on in high school, right? He the one that looked like Eminem, and I just noticed that the candle's been up for an hour. I probably should only like let out my candle like what very quick. This is what an hour does to this candle, right? So I'm gonna be really careful not to burn it up at once. JT, that's what he's called. He looked like Eminem, kind of, but like he always does weed. He basically taught me boxing, right? And I think it was kind of hot because he was really strong. Like he was strong. He's fit too. A little long story on that, but I don't know. Like whenever I think about Little Mac, well, not literally, but now I'm thinking about it. It reminded me like how he taught me, like, you know, if you see Rocky, right? Like you would dodge and make sure that you try to block the, you know, the punches and whatnot. And yes, we did use gloves, even though he did taught me how to fight without gloves. He didn't really hurt me that much, but it was kind of hot because he's really like a little aggressive, but he's trying to make me a little tougher though. So just so I could assure that. Anyway, I'm not surprised this is so off in a list.
But here you are, stronger, smarter, and prepared. You could have just entered the password for the Tyson fight weeks ago, but you would have just gotten blown out anyway. Every fight led to this very moment. Except you didn't get any stronger. You're the same Little Mac from the minor circuit. You didn't get any stronger. Your stamina isn't any different. Instead, you, the player, have changed. You overcame these challenges, and you are a different person from the one who booted up the game. This is your fight. This is your destiny. That's what this game did. Unlike all the other games in the sports genre, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out captures the beauty of sports. Like Herm Edwards once said, you play to win the game.
True.
You don't play to just play it.
True.
This is what's great about sports. You play to win the game.
Of course.
And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win.
Whether you're the Little Mac from the Bronx or a Little Mac from anywhere else, being an underdog is just an excuse to cause an upset, because I'd rather be an underdog than no dog at all.
True.
So there. If you don't agree that this is a top 100...
I agree. I wish I did play Punch-Out. I wish I did. I really wish I did. So after once we hit semi, I'll read all your messages. I think like an hour seems pretty fair to do a list like this. Because I want to keep being off topic. If we ever get new viewers, which I know we haven't done so yet.
So there. If you don't agree that this is a top 100 Nintendo game, that's alright. But hopefully you can see the impact this game had on me. Also, I kind of made a deal to get it on this list, so if you are enjoying
time is
this
it?
video so far
3:39?
and you want to watch our unhinged debate on how we got to this list of 100 games, consider becoming a member. It's the most direct way you can support our content, and it allows us to take risks and make more videos we're passionate about, like this one. Alright, enough shilling. Let's move on.
Metroid Prime is one of the most beloved series
Really?
of Nintendo's lengthy
For
history,
70?
and with the help of developer Retro Studios, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption reminds us once again why it is so highly regarded. Released on the Wii in 2007, this game took a massive jump from the previous games in the trilogy, introducing new, larger detailed environments as well as smooth 60 FPS gameplay thanks to the power of the Wii. This game turns the control scheme completely on its head, swapping over to motion controls via the Wiimote and Nunchuck, opposed to the last two games of the franchise that were housed on the GameCube. This works surprisingly well, as the Prime franchise has always had a lock-on aiming feature. The transition in turn was quite seamless, and it actually felt very immersive to freely look around with the Wiimote, so much so that Retro brought this control scheme to Prime 1 and 2 in the trilogy re-release. The game kicks off with Samus being called to the Galactic Federation alongside 3 other hunters to look into a possible phase-on attack. Dark Samus then pulls up like an absolute badass and knocks out all of the hunters. A month later, Samus wakes up now infused with Phazon in her blood, which we'll get to in a second, and is now tasked with stopping the spread of the Phazon's corruption across space in the franchise's most ambitious story yet. While Samus was asleep, she was outfitted with a device that helps channel the Phazon power imbued from the attack into an enhanced power called Hyper Mode. Sacrificing energy in order to use it, you can use a stronger power beam, missiles, and more, which find themselves especially useful in puzzles and boss battles. Combining the game's main gameplay gimmick narratively with the game's plot made Hyper Mode a standout feature of this game for me. Metroid Prime 3 pushed the Wii to its limits, taking a noticeable jump in visuals from the previous entries in the franchise. Blending world building with epic combat, exploration, and collecting old and new upgrades through your journey, this is a must-play in a trilogy of already amazing games.
69, you know what? I'll continue.
Is a return indeed. Apparently, this game went through development.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I don't think I've heard of this game though. Sadly. Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Announced in 2005, pushed to an entirely different console, canceled, and then released in 2011. But boy, was the wait worth it. There's several playable characters, new copy abilities, 4-person multiplayer, and an all-new type of ability called a super ability. Yay. Yeah, this mechanic is admittedly
okay. That's where the Final Smash came from.
Everyone is left to essentially just watch one player play the game, and all they're really doing is triggering a cutscene each time. I'll be the first person to admit that the Robobot armor is cooler, but where Kirby's Return to Dreamland really shines is through its cooperative experience and just the amount of content in general. The multiplayer is awesome. You have the option to choose between King Dedede, Meta Knight, Bandana D, or another Kirby. And if you're like me, you pick the Kirby because the copy abilities in this game are sick. Not only does each move feel incredibly fluid, but the amount of unique moves that each copy ability gives you is frankly absurd. There's even combos to perform moves that you would have never considered. And if performing random button combinations and seeing what works isn't really your style, you can always just look at the action guide. There's also several hidden secrets, an even harder mode where the enemies become stronger, and all kinds of cool minigames. For being the revival of the traditional Kirby format, Kirby's Return to Dreamland is just about everything you could ask for.
When the GameCube hit shelves in 2001, it was the most powerful console on the market by far. But it wasn't the only thing that hit that year, because bundled in with it
Luigi's Mansion?
the
68, that's pretty fair.
Ever. First Luigi's Mansion may not be as graphically
What is sure it is?
on the Switch, but what it makes up for
This was the very first GameCube game that I played. But at that age, I was too terrified and I stopped playing it. I do not know why, because when my mother and my brother basically set it up, like, yeah, you gotta imagine, right? Like we bought the GameCube like as my 7th birthday present. You can see how big it was at its time. And my mother and my brother were really impressed of how the graphics were, because this is how it was back then. And it's nice to see that Luigi's Mansion is like in the top 70.
Luigi is sheer replayability. Although the third game has more interconnecting mechanics and intricate levels, the first
Is what
Luigi's
you're
Mansion aims to
You're
be a
here?
simple, spooky game about sucking up ghosts, and it hits it out of the park. It's such a
No.
simple gameplay loop, but man,
Has
it's
not.
just so fun to flash the ghost with your light, then scoop them up with the poltergeist. And what could have been a safe, shallow tech demo meant to show off the GameCube's graphics packs a stupid amount of personality. Literally, this is the game that gave Luigi his signature "Mom, come pick me up, I'm scared" personality. Before this game, he was more so just a clone of Mario, meant for the second player.
True.
But Luigi's Mansion stood him apart from his older brother, making him more timid and scared. So much so that the main button on the GameCube controller does this. And it's not just the BL. This game made King Boo the main antagonist for the first time. Had
Right.
portrait painting ghosts for boss battles. No, don't think about the fact that a baby's one of them. And even flipped the script and had Mario needing to be saved instead of the other way around. And shoot, obviously 3's graphics are far and away more impressive, but the style from the first game is so unique. Not only compared to the other Luigi Mansion games, but any other Mario game. The dust physics alone took 6 months to program.
Are you
That's not
serious?
dedication. I do not know what it is.
What?
The first game goes for a more realistic.
That's for the fact you're kidding me. I mean, I know it's the very first GameCube game that came out, but
any other Mario game, the dust physics alone took 6 months to program. That's not dedication. I do not know what it is.
Wow.
The first game goes for a more
6 months just to do the dust effects. You know, like the little smoke that's coming out, like when Luigi's walking and down the stairs. 6 months.
The first game goes for a more realistic.
You see why we appreciate games back then? Because they had to work much harder because the technology wasn't as advanced yet. I wonder, maybe that's why I kind of miss the old era, because even though technology was as advanced, we don't take days for granted that a lot of people on social media does to this day. I'm just speaking from experience.
Style compared to the other game's wacky, cartoony style. And although its subsequent sequels still go for a quote-unquote spooky theme, there's still a certain sense of isolation and unease that the other two games still haven't recaptured. And I think because of that unique vibe, simple yet replayable mechanics, and exploration, makes this game easily an all-time Nintendo classic.
Super Mario Strikers
Oh,
is Mario's
dear.
first dive into soccer, and
Oh, I used to play this. I was kind of good at it because I know how to cheat a little bit. Because I always play as Peach because she was my main, right? And I love Peach. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm glad this is up on the list. It's a classic. Plus, I mean, the way that they have their outfits. Not to mention the first time we get to basically see Peach in like in a crop top kind of. So, you know, that was something. And this is good for like the older Mario fans. At the time, you know, I was only 10.
absolute smash hit. This game dropped smack dab in the middle of the Mario Sports Series prime and fit in that era like a missing puzzle piece. Super Mario Strikers thrives in combining the aspects of real soccer and, well, Mario. In this game, there's only 5 players per team and a much smaller field to play on than, real life. From the
Right.
menu, you can choose to play grudge matches versus CPUs or with/against friends, as well as cup battles, as you unlock all of the stadiums available in the game. Each team has your typical run-of-the-mill Mario character to choose from for your captain. Then you choose sidekicks to fill out the rest of your squad. This game just screams fun. In Mario Strikers, there are power-ups that you can use to hit other players on the field. Whether it's
Yep.
bananas, big shells, or
Bob-ombs.
bob-ombs, it can lead to some chaotic and hilarious gameplay.
This is it for a kids game? Yeah,
You always
we had
need
that.
to be aware of your atmosphere, as each stadium is covered in electric wire, so that anytime you tackle an opposing player into it, they're electrocuted and lose the ball,
Yep.
which is an amazing feature. Now, in terms of goal scoring, there are a variety of ways of doing so. Whether it's a straight-up scoring a super strike with your captain, netting you 2 goals in the process,
Yep.
the possibilities are endless. Super Mario Strikers isn't your typical soccer video game. Combining Mario's signature power-ups, special moves, and exhilarating gameplay, it's truly like no other.
Pikmin 2 is pretty much everything
Pikmin
the
2?
sequel should be.
I
Unlike
think
the
that-
first game, the dev
My MacBook must have froze. Damn it. Not again. All right, there we go. Damn it, MacBook. Okay.
didn't have to spend a ton of time figuring out how the game should play since they already had a solid format. So what did they do with all this saved time? They added a bunch of cool stuff that wasn't in the first game. Right from the opening, you can tell this is a bigger game. Sure, there isn't voice acting, but there is a more coherent story. This new goober, Louis, has forced the company you work with to go into debt, and now you've got to collect some random space junk to pay it off. But don't worry, your pal Louis is here to help. As annoying as he may have been in the story, I actually kind of like Louis. Just like Olimar's name is a reference to Mario, taking
Oh my gosh, my MacBook is not. No wonder I haven't been seeing you typing in. I'm gonna restart. Oh crap. Dumbo, Darren, and Cupcake. And you have a place to speak. I want you to know that. Cupcake, I totally encourage it that you should vlog. All your messages are coming in 60 minutes late. So after it hits 64, I'm gonna stop and we do the live stream. Maybe this is a sign that I should only do this for tomorrow, and then the other live stream I'll probably do it freely.
Mixing them around and adding an L. Louis is actually named after Tom Selleck. Anyway, as you collect all these treasures and trinkets, you'll notice that a lot of them are based on real-world objects. And it seems that Olimar wasn't the only one who needed to pay off some debt. Look, I respect the hustle, but I have to wonder how many people were playing Pikmin 2 and realized that they needed to go to the store and buy shoe polish. Alongside these collectibles, there's some new Pikmin as well, including these beefy purple Pikmin and the poison Pikmin, which enhance the game's puzzles since there's more variety now. There's also a ton of new areas to explore, making this a much bigger game than its predecessor. A massive addition is these caves, and they're cool, but some people also don't really like them too much. They're very linear, often redundant, and can be a bit of a pain at times. I don't hate them, but I understand why they're so divisive. When comparing this game to Pikmin 1, I've always kind of viewed the original Pikmin as a Pikmin fan's Pikmin. If you're a massive fan of the series, you might prefer the fast-paced gameplay, day limit, and the difficulty, although a bit arbitrary sometimes. And I can understand finding that game to be more replayable, but Pikmin 2, especially with its amount of content, is just the better game.
On a console which brought so much doom and gloom for Nintendo fans, Splatoon was a bright, colorful spot that immediately catapulted this bizarre
2015? Wow!
To amongst Nintendo's most beloved franchises.
I think it's been out for 10 years.
Living in a world where Splatoon has immediately seen multiple sequels, paid expansions, and arguably more promotion and merch than any Nintendo series not named Mario or Pokemon, it's very easy to forget what a pre-Splatoon landscape looked like for Nintendo. I remember initially seeing this game revealed and just being entranced by how striking everything seemed to be, with nearly every single clothing item, background graffiti, character design, or weapon catching your eye. Then I played the first global test fire in Nintendo's version of a beta weekend, and everything just clicked. All aspects of Splatoon were an immaculate balance of intentionally weird and weirdly intentional. Nintendo's newest, most off-the-wall franchise was also an immediate competitive success, which is extremely rare to see in the industry. While certain aspects of the game were slightly underwhelming looking back, such as the amount of modes and maps at launch, certain broken abilities like damage up, and a completely forgotten, for good reason, local multiplayer mode, Splatoon 1 nailed so much right off the bat that those slight misfires are completely forgivable. Yes, it's incredibly unfortunate that the servers are down, but due to an engaging single-player campaign culminating in one of Nintendo's best boss fights ever, an instantly iconic world filled with lore and a charming cast of characters, and everything else that has made this one of Nintendo's biggest series despite not even being a decade old, Splatoon is more than deserving of a spot.
9 years. List. I didn't know that.
Kirby is one of the most iconic characters in the...
Oh, damn it. No. Oh, boy, I got a long-ass ad.
Bacteria and...
Don't care about bacteria. I don't understand why this damn MacBook isn't working properly. If someone did like the live stream, it sucks that all your messages are like 20 minutes behind. And Devin, you never like boxing games? That's understandable. I don't recommend showing your face now that trolls are... Right. We're talking about the weather. It's 57 and Darren's 50 degrees. I don't know how... I know it's pretty warm out here. $965? That's awesome, Cupcake. Literally. And Wii Games is for Nintendo, yes. Absolutely, Dumbbell. Okay.
He's one of the most iconic characters in Nintendo's lengthy history. With a plethora of different genres in his catalog, there's one place that Hal had never gone until now.
Oh, this game, right? I've been hearing about this a lot. Wow, I'm surprised it's kind of up there.
The Forgotten Land released on the Nintendo Switch in 2022, and developer HAL Laboratories' first dive into 3D platforming was a massive success, to say the least. Seeing how other games look significantly worse after jumping to 3D, Forgotten Land defied that.
Wow, that Pokemon game glitch looks downright terrible.
Quite honestly,
anyway,
it's the best looking Kirby game to date. This game blends the vibrant and colorful charm of your typical run-of-the-mill Kirby game and a dystopian Forgotten Land, making it so memorable as no Kirby game has gone this route before. The gameplay, like the graphics, is arguably better than its 2D counterparts. Going through short 3D linear levels is an incredibly enjoyable time due to the sheer quality you encounter through the entire event. This game innovates on the core Kirby gameplay we all know and love, and now lets Kirby be a vending machine? Yeah, this was super random, but Mouthful Mode was a blast from start to finish.
I think it's cute.
Whether it's flying through the sky with Archmouth Kirby, or enjoying a roller coaster with Coaster Kirby, on top of the pre-existing copy abilities we all know and love, the possibilities are endless, and truly there's never a dull moment while playing through the amazing levels this game has to offer. One of my favorite parts of Kirby and the Forgotten Land has to be its new hub world, Waddle Dee Town. As you progress through the game and rescue Waddle Dees, your town expands, unlocking shops, most notably a place where you can upgrade your copy abilities, a fishing spot, a coliseum, and even seeing inside Kirby's house, which has some nice nods to past games of the franchise. There's so much to do here, and as the town grows, it's super fulfilling to just explore around. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a game to be remembered forever for the franchise, having a successful transition into 3D. Jam-packed with incredible gameplay, visuals, and charm, it's a must-play for any Nintendo fan.
All right, I'll stop here.
With a series as successful.
Oh god, I hear that music. It's Mario Kart Wii music. I hope it's not this low on the list. Damn it. I kind of want to continue, but I don't know. Like, it's been 22 minutes and the time just stopped. Here, let me type this in. I don't know what's wrong with this MacBook. I guess I got this live stream directly. This is ridiculous. This is why I need to get an upgrade. It sucks that I cannot do anything on this MacBook. I'm so sorry, you three. I'm going to have to force close.